Hey, here's a little disclaimer. The views and opinions expressed in this podcast do not necessarily reflect those of the MAWP organization. And there are some themes and subject matter that may not be suitable for all audiences, so viewer discretion is advised. Press the record button. Is it recording? It's moving. It's red.
It's yep.
All right.
It's recording.
That's all you do.
Yep, that's it.
I'm an engineer.
Yep, you are. You're hired.
I'm all jacked up on donut now.
Yeah, I know, right?
Yeah, I know better than to eat sugar before we do a show. Whoa. Woo!
Donut and caffeine for me.
Me too.
Really? Right on.
No coffee.
Okay.
Okay. Ready? Let's see. I'm not completely ready, but almost ready. Tape is rolling. Lights are on. Lights, camera, action.
Action.
Da-da-dun.
Da-da-da.
Missed out on hair and makeup today.
That happens. That happens.
Well-
Hydro Empire?
Yeah.
Is that where you went?
Jack Hurrah or something or other. I don't know. It was adequate.
Jack Hurrah, that's actually really good stuff.
Like I was saying, that other stuff that I had was supposed to have been like a 50% stuff that we smoked last week. I gave you a bong hit of. It was supposed to be like 50% or some crazy shit. I don't remember exactly, but it was a really expensive half ounce, and it was just okay weed. It was just, there's nothing wrong with it. But and it was like indica or hybrid. I don't remember.
No.
This is, I think, sativa. I'm not positive.
Jack Hurrah?
Yeah.
I think it's too big.
But it...
It's a good daytime. It doesn't lock in the couch, lay you out and shit.
Well, it gets in there where other weeds weren't doing the trick for me. Like, in terms of, like, I got this backache going on, and this is really, like...
Well, it should have a tad bit more CBDs.
I think it doesn't have hardly any, like, honestly.
Jack Hurrah should. I don't have my glasses, so... Here, let me see. Where's your glasses? Here's what I was thinking of. Jack Hurrah was the one that they kind of... Oh, yeah, it's got CBDs. Well... All right. Put the glasses more on, right?
While you're reading that,
I'll
introduce-
CBDA.
I don't know what that means.
Yeah. I know, I'm still trying to figure all that crap out.
But hello, everybody. Welcome once again to another episode 31 of the MAWPCAST 1 radio program. Come here every week from the city of Destiny, Tacoma, Washington, to bring you all the swinging hits of the South Puget Sound from throughout the years. Songs by bands who have come from Tacoma and the greater Pierce County region and points beyond. And occasionally someone from Seattle who will slip in. Those fucking bastards.
Puyallup will
Sneaky
slide in
bastard.
there every once in a while too.
Well, Puyallup's okay. They're in our region, but we...
Oh yeah, I get it.
You just despise Puyallup. For
No.
some reason, you're racist
I
against Puyallupians.
Nope, I've lived there my entire life almost.
Um,
Too many people there now.
yeah. I have a difficult time going anywhere near South Hill.
Yeah.
A little funny there. There we might be better.
I try to avoid Meridian at all costs.
I'm torn because I love South Hill.
Yep.
Like I love South Hill. Like, but it's overran. Yeah, it's just it's
If you want to go there, you have to have patience.
yeah, and I don't have that kind of patience anymore. If I could walk around and had the time, but just getting in and out of the region is so. It's not fun for me. I don't know. Yeah, if I had time to just go and hang out and do some walking around like I used to, that'd be great. Because I used to like to walk around down from 128th or even 144th, all the way down even to the downtown area and the mall and that whole 112th and 128th corridors. Those were great streets. Mm-hmm. Yep, I liked it out there a lot. I had different time in different little pockets around the area like that. Puyallup was a nice time and place before the dark times and the empire of strip malls.
I know, yeah, the empire has definitely arrived there, that's for sure.
Well, we can think back to the time when it was a 2-lane road. And the only thing on that 2-lane road was a Piggly Wiggly and a Jackpot on 112th Street. And...
Well, no. Jackpot...
What do you mean, no? Don't tell me no.
It was South Hill Saloon across the street from the Piggly Wiggly.
Uh-huh.
And then there was a Jackpot, but that was on 128th.
Was that on 128th?
Yeah, 128th. There was a Jackpot, and it was right next to the Brown Cow restaurant.
Well, that might be even going back farther.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, probably. I mean, that's when I moved there.
Yeah. Or no, not farther, but just I miss.
Because I was in '76 at that time.
Okay, so the Jackpot might have moved down to Piggly Wiggly, or I might be confusing it or conflating
Jackpot. Is that a gas station?
Yeah.
Yeah. No, wait. The 120th was '76.
Okay.
But I know that there was a saloon that was right across the street from where the Piggly Wiggly was, kind of where the Jack in the Box and all that shit is right now, kind of right there. Then there was that big hill, and they had Clyde's water slide and all that stuff way back when.
Yeah. And Clyde's water slide, that was functioning into the mid 80s until the dude got his finger cut off there.
Yeah.
That was actually a guy who went to Ording. At least that's the... is this the story I'm thinking of?
Because I thought Clyde's closed because they wanted to build the mall.
Well, they closed before they wanted to build the mall. It was closed down for like a year or two. Just
then
sitting
they
there.
sold the property after that.
Yeah. And I mean, I could also.
I just remember the hill being there one day, and the next day it was gone. I was just like, "What the fuck happened?"
Wasn't it you and me and Nathan who walked up there when in the snowy weather before they built the mall, or when they just laid the foundation or something like that? I don't remember. And I remember being there when they opened too, and it was just like one little tiny piece of a mall.
Yeah.
It was very cute. It was like you walked in and then you were at the end and you're like, oh wow, that's it. It's like, well, coming soon.
It's basically like a strip mall here.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
When I was younger, walking from 112th down, or walking from down Meridian, down all the way downtown to the fair. There was no sidewalks on that street then. It was a 2-lane road and no sidewalks. And
no,
you
there
were
was dirt.
you're walking in the ditch half the time if you were walking down that hill. Yeah, it was kind of treacherous, and it was not populated. It was just not a populated area.
No.
But it blew up quick.
Yes.
It blew up really quick and really like within our lifetime because, you know, when I was a little kid, we used to go and dump stuff at the dump, and the dump was small. Mm-hmm. It was a small little dump way down there on Meridian, and you know, now you can smell it on at the mall, pretty much.
Yeah.
I remember when we were teenagers and at the tree farm. We were at the tree farm somewhere in there, and
was that before or after I fell into the fire?
After.
Okay.
Years after.
Okay.
Yeah. The dump was there. It had got to there. Like we were just walking through the tree farm, and all of a sudden we're like, oh, we're at the dump. How'd that happen? Like we didn't walk that far. Yeah, the dump came miles to here, basically. It wasn't quite miles, but yeah, it was just like craziness. Now
that part of the dump, I believe, is covered up and there's houses built on it.
Yeah, that shit's crazy too.
Yeah. And now they moved the dump further down.
And like that's like way higher in altitude now because of that garbage. Like because
you just think all that decomposing, it's gonna shrink and sink. And
I don't want to think about any of it.
That's fine. I'm not there, so I can think about it.
For some reason, I just feel like it might affect a lot of people, and like that whole cyst might just explode.
Oh yeah.
But now you mentioned being at a party at the tree farm. We didn't mention the party, but you were at a tree farm party there and burned your hair once. And that's a tragic story about being a little drunk and stumbling and falling into a fire and torching your butt rock hair.
Yeah.
Now,
I got a haircut that day.
Years later, like ironically, like you were pulled out of the fire by someone. Anonymously that day. Spoiler.
Sorry.
It was Cody. Well, you didn't even know for years.
I didn't know. And that's why I was so happy that it was somebody that I knew. That I could actually thank.
5 or 6 years ago, I was like talking to Cody, and he started telling me some story about being very young, around 13 or so, and ended up at some weird party out at this tree farm out in Puyallup. And he told a story about some guy who was a little drunk and fell in the fire, and his friends like didn't help him out, and he reached down and helped this guy out, and it just like all the pieces lined up, and I was like, oh my god, this is the story that Chris has been telling me his whole life. Like because I met you just a year or so afterwards, or within the year afterwards, and you had short hair.
Because I actually fell asleep there.
Yeah.
And I woke up and half my hair was gone. And I was just like, what the fuck? What the fuck? But I noticed that I wasn't burnt. So I was just like, well, how did like half my hair burn off and I'm not like got 3rd-degree burns all over my body? How is this possible? And then I vaguely remember being pulled out and stuff, but it was just such a blur because I was just being a dumb kid, having fun and blah, blah, blah.
I had some amazing moments too. Just like a good one was out at the Roy Y. Our friends Nathan and Jason had that trailer, and we got hammered out there one night, just drunk as fuck. And around midnight, they're like, "We're going to Denny's," and by this time I was puking in the toilet. I was puking, and I'm like, "I'm not going to Denny's," and so like, all right, well,
I remember this story.
Yeah, so they took off, went to Denny's for a couple hours, and meanwhile I'm puking, and I was like, oh, I got puke in my hair, and it's like, well, I probably had puke on me or something at this point, so I basically took a bath. I crawled into the bathtub, turned on the hot water, and passed out there, and very well could have drowned in that bathtub.
Very well could have.
Because I just passed out with the water running, and when I woke up, I believe I was probably naked and just fucking cold as fuck, and trying to cover myself with water.
I think it was a blanket or something.
Yeah. And I opened my eyes. I was like, "What the fuck's going on?" And I was like, "I'm in a bathtub." And like Nathan's standing there, and I'm like, "Dude, what the fuck's going on? I'm cold." Turn the hot water on. He's like, "Dude, there's no more hot water here." I'd ran the hot water all out, and the whole bathroom had been flooded, like the whole thing, whole thing. Just and I couldn't do nothing about that. You know, I was fucking just out. I had passed out, but yeah, surely did some damage there to the trailer. There was another great water-related incident. Wasn't necessarily drunk at this point, but it was actually a year or two before that. Nathan and Bob and I were in my bedroom. This was back when we lived out in South Hill there, and we had a place called Potter's Palace. So I had the master bedroom with his house, and it was a party place, and a lot of kids would come through there and party all the time. And
yeah, the closet.
There was a walk-in closet.
Closet
that
was awesome.
A great, good time. We had a bar in there and a couch and a big, giant California king-size waterbed. Everything. It was everything a kid could want to party with. And there's a bathroom in there and everything. So anyway, the waterbed over a year or so had gotten filthy. Like debris fell down inside on the sides. It was just nasty. It's like we needed to clean things. We needed to clean the room, and we would do this periodically because we were messy kids. And so we drained the waterbed, and we're draining it, and it's taking forever. The last little inch or so left in the thing is taking forever, and we're getting impatient, frustrated, and we want to get on with our day, and we want to clean it. And so we have the idea that we'll move it into the shower. We'll pick it up, and we'll move this thing into the shower, and we'll just let it drain itself out into the shower, rather than sitting for hours letting it try to gravity out the window with the hose. So we detach the hose and we start to wrestle this thing into the bathroom. And, you know, we have it capped off. Everything's fine.
Yep.
Everything's cool. So we get it off the bed, but it's super, super heavy. Way heavier than we anticipated. And
it's like about 150 pounds, 200 pounds of water in here.
I don't know how much water's in it. But like, it's a lot to maneuver in an awkward, giant water bed that we're tugging and pulling on, and we get it into the bathroom, and we start shoving it into the shower, and like there's three of us maneuvering through these doors and into the shower, and all of a sudden my feet are getting wet. I was like, dude, my feet are getting wet. Why are my feet getting wet? Did you turn on the water? Water's not on. What's going on? Why are my feet? Oh my God, it's ripping. Where is it ripping? It's ripping from the bottom of the shower thing. The shower door. The shower door's catching it. It's ripping. We've got to get it in. We're starting to panic. Oh no, it's ripping there. No, stop. Don't do it. Oh, it's ripping there. Oh no. And so all of a sudden, like, I'm on the inside, and I was on the outside. I don't know how I got on the inside, but now I'm on the inside, and I'm wrapped up with my feet around it, and I'm in the shower, and they're closing the shower. But they've got to close the shower, and the water's pouring, and Nathan or Bob looks at Jason, and he says the garage, and because they look down and all this water's pouring, and it's pouring down the heater vent, and so one of them runs down there while the other one shoves the thing in the rest of the way and closes me into the thing, and I have to climb out over the shower. But meanwhile, it's raining in the garage, like, because all this water's fucked up. Yeah, it was a nightmare.
Yeah, I wasn't there for that, but I heard the story and I saw the aftermath.
Ruined my waterbed. Didn't have a waterbed ever again after that. That was the last of that.
You put a mattress in there that wasn't the same size.
No, it wasn't the same size. It wasn't the same after that. That bed before that, we could fit like 4 people on it, like easily. It was a good time, but
But you did gain a little table and some storage stuff.
No, I utilized the space. The trenches on each side of the bed. I would keep my stuff in.
Yep. Oh yeah, I remember. Good times.
Okay, well, we've bantered. We should probably
Let's play some music. You heard a little bit about our childhood.
Yeah,
we got more stories. You'll hear more about that later.
Talk about the time that my friend Todd got his ass blown up with some bottle rockets. That was a good time.
I recall artifacts that touch the time tape, the remnants of a shadow slow, the canopy, the edge of endless, by firelight, warm we glow. We laugh, we chase the snow, we throw our hands, lose everything we know. Can't we just breathe now, stay still, and capture everything we feel? We laugh, we chase the snow, we throw our hands, lose everything we know. Can't we just breathe now, stay still, and capture everything we feel? I record to live forever. The widest frames, the grain matter.
I got a dream. I got a dream. I got a dream. Lord willing, I get it by any means. I got a dream. I got a dream. I got a dream. Lord willing, I get it by any means. I wake up in the morning, pray for what's important, put my pants on one leg at a time. Get to the grind, got my best foot forward. Ain't I know, promise everything I want, I'm going for. You know it, so I wake up in the morning, pray for what's important, put my pants on one leg at a time. Get to the grind, got my best foot forward. Ain't I know, promise everything I want, I'm going for. You know it, my 9 to 5 was clouding my creativity. It was killing me, stifling my ability. I wasn't ready yet to give up this steady check. I swear I just clocked in and I'm already vexed. They were taking my life, that ain't no petty theft. Every weekend I'm drinking, there ain't no penny left. Check the check, paying bills, got me penniless. Like before I even see it, it's already spent. Got me plenty stressed, barely getting any rest. But you can't always see the finish from the ready set. Gotta carry on, life's a marathon. If I don't chase my dreams, they could be here and gone. Is that relatable? So I say to you, don't just dream, dog, make it attainable. This is dedicated to every person that got a dream. In order to fly, you gotta leap. So I wake up in the morning, pray for what's important, put my pants on one leg at a time. Get to the grind, got my best foot forward. Ain't I know, promise everything I want, I'm going for. You know it, so I wake up in the morning, pray for what's important, put my pants on one leg at a time. Get to the grind, got my best foot forward. Ain't I know, promise everything I want, I'm going for. You know it, they say V.
Why you going get your mask? Oh, you don't think that you can make it with this madness?
No, I don't respect aggression, it's passive. I answer, can't put all of my eggs in one basket. So I left a decent job making 50 plus. I'd rather do what I love and make 50 bucks. But I don't wanna be working when I'm 50, bruh. So I'ma grind until the Lord come and lift me up. Meanwhile, I wanna be an example for my son. I hope he can see what his dad do. I paint the picture, kid. I'd be a hypocrite if I told him to chase his dreams and I was quick to quit. Now it all makes sense to me. It's up to you to be everything you was meant to be. Therefore, I'm forging my own destiny. running a maze, ridiculous and lame. Stalemate to all your games. Would you feel this? Feel this? Feel this? Feel this?
Well, I love an angel, but does she love me? Well, I'll never know, and I'll never be free from this infatuation that lives inside of me. I love an angel, but does she love me? Well, I met this angel a long time ago. Said that she loved me, would never let me go. Now things have changed, our love has gone astray. I love this angel till my dying day. Happen to me. Tell me, why did you go away and set me free? Well, I know someday that she will return. I love this angel, my heart will yearn. For I love an angel. Does she love me? Well, I'll never know, and I'll never be free from this infatuation that lives inside of me. I love an angel, but does she love me? I love the angel.
Well, so start off with that, and then we'll try your Blue Dream.
All right.
Is that what it is?
This
Blue
is
Dream?
the Jack Hara.
Yeah. It's not bad at all. Nothing about it's bad, I would say.
That's the stuff that I'm pretty sure that people say is the good stuff to make Rick Simpson oil out of and stuff
right?
like that. Yeah.
I don't know a lot about a lot of strains in that sense.
Are you much of an edible person?
No.
You don't do edibles?
No, if you go back to like when we made those cookies. Okay. Back in the 80s, I ate an edible that came from Hawaii or was made by someone who came from Hawaii from that contingent of growers that we knew. And that one brownie was like boogie woogied on my brain, dude. It was like, woo. And it was good times. And then in the 10, 20, 25 years since, it's like, they're all kind of lame. I had a brownie at a Dead show in like 91 that was okay. I had a brownie in Eugene that I was like, oh, I feel that. I feel that one.
Because I buy, well, because I was going to say, I could get these capsules where it's just like a little tiny capsule, and it's either CBD, THC CBD, or THC.
Huh.
And it's 10 capsules, $10 a bag. And if you take 2 of them before you go to bed, you're just like nice and out. And it's kind of cool. I mean, I like them because you take them when you're totally straight, you can feel yourself go, and then you're riding and stuff, and then you feel yourself, and then back to normal and stuff. And it's just the most odd thing, but it's cool because, you know, if you can't smoke, you don't have that chance to have smoke, but you kind of want to have buzz, and you kind of want to be,
oh yeah,
you know, that's the way to do it.
Yeah, that sounds pretty good.
And since you don't do it like that, you could probably take one and feel it.
No.
You don't think so?
Herein lies the problem. So, I was, because of my hit and miss with it in general, and so many misses instead of hits, I was like very skeptical that it was even worth trying. But I knew I knew of the process that they used to do it in the old days, and that was how I was taught. But the brownies that were made that I ate that were so good were made by infusing butter with the weed. And so when weed started to become decriminalized and legalized around here, then I was like, well, this is a great opportunity to be able to experiment because weed suddenly became abundant.
Yep.
And a friend of mine needed some medicinal marijuana, some edibles. Couldn't smoke. And so I said, okay, well, let me try this out. And I Googled like a process to infuse butter with weed. And I followed that process, and I was successful at it. And then I took that butter and I made these cookies, these nice little cookies. And I and everyone else was very happy with those results. Now, it took me a couple to feel anything. That's the problem, is that these were very potent cookies, and it took me a couple to feel them. So to really get a good effect, I had to take a lot. And then by taking a lot, I ended up getting a little too loopy. Oh. Like, there was one time where I was testing it out, and I was like, okay, I'm going to get a good, like, I was literally like setting out to get a good test of this. And I had some time to kill, and I was in the North End visiting our old friend Dave Takata, and I ate a couple of these cookies, like, right before I left.
Yeah, you need to be safe. So, yeah.
Well, no, I was leaving though. Like, I ate a couple, and then took a little toke before I left. And then I started walking from the North End to Louie G's. And so I walked all the way down through Tacoma. And I had taken a couple tokes before I left, so I was stoned, and I was enjoying my walk. It was a nice summer night. Oh. And I'm walking along, and instead of getting less and less stoned, I was getting more stoned. I was like, oh, I think that those things work. Because I just started feeling it. Like, so by the time I got to the bridge, I was really feeling it. Like, down here to cross the bridge to go into Fife. The bridge's not open anymore. Yeah. And I got across the bridge. When I got across the bridge, I was like, I'm fucked up. I'm like, wow. Yeah, I'm really feeling it. And I got a few blocks down farther. It's a little ways down. You know where that first motel is. The big one that's right down there where the freeway comes in. And and there's a cop there who had been dealing with someone as in the parking lot. Basically, he was parked. He had his lights on as I was passing by, and he had just finished up, and he was going to get in his car, and he stopped and he looked at me, and he looked at me again. He's like, "Come here," and he called me over off the sidewalk. He's like, and he pulled me over for walking drunk. He thought I was drunk.
Oh shit!
And I was like, "No, I'm not drunk, man. I'm not drunk." And I answered all his questions coherently, gave him all the right answers. That's where I was going. I was going to Louie G's. So I see my friend, up there who works. Everything was cool. It was all fine. He let me go. No problem. But nonetheless, like he did, I was stumbling around. I was a little,
You're stumbling.
a little, yeah,
Nice.
a little loopy. But that was also where I determined that it required too many, because I don't think that was necessarily the first two that I took that day. I don't remember exactly how it went, or at least those were very strong. I don't know. Nonetheless, I started getting comments about like being a little less graceful and stumbling around a little bit, and like I also didn't like the feeling as much from eating it as I do from
It is
smoking
different. That's why I only take them at night before I go to bed.
Yeah.
Yeah. I did take some to a concert because I'm in my wheelchair, so it's hard for me to sneak out and take a couple toes. So I just take a couple of those, and I'm sitting down the whole time. I think I took when I went and saw Rob Zombie, and that made that an adventure because Rob Zombie started because it was at the White River Amphitheater, and there's like all those rows, and I'm in the wheelchair section. It's like a ring that kind of goes throughout the whole thing from one side to the next, and there's like box seats below us with these walls that are like about little higher than waist high, I guess. Probably about I don't know 6-7 inches wide that separate all of them. So it's like little boxes. Well, Rob came up and he's out walking on those and shit, and I'm just like, wow, that's fucking cool and shit. And if it gets to the other side, it's like, wow, that was kind of neat. And all of a sudden, he's fucking running right by me, and I'm just like going, holy shit, that's Rob Zombie running right by me and stuff. And I was just like, it was the coolest thing ever.
You could have tripped him.
I could have. I totally could have. I could have tackled him. I mean, he was literally not even, and there was nobody there to block me. I could have easily done it. Yeah. But I'm a good guy. I'm a nice guy. So I didn't do that. That would have been a bad thing.
It would have been a dick move, for sure.
Yeah, but it was just kind of cool. I was, that close to that rock star right there. Probably wouldn't want to get too close. He's probably stunk from, all that running around and all sweaty. Yeah.
It's hard to say. You just never can tell. Some of these people, they got an image.
A lot of makeup and stuff.
Yeah.
But it was cool because, he had the full makeup on, so he was all scary looking and shit. It was fucking just badass. Looked right at me as he ran by and stuff, so it was cool.
I'm not the hugest fan of Rob Zombie. I have seen him so many times. So many times. It's just crazy.
I like him. He's a good musician and writing songs and stuff. He's not like the awesome most best, but his theatrics, the way he does stuff,
he's a solid entertainer,
on
man.
He's just so entertaining.
I have nothing wrong with like entertainment, and he makes entertainment. It's his brand of entertainment. It appeals to people, and he's been cranking that brand out, and it's fine. It's not my favorite. I'm surprised that as little as I do go see shows these days, I end up seeing him quite a bit.
We're seeing a lot of shows that he just happens to be part of as well. Yeah. I saw him once. It was kind of funny. I went with the group. I can't really say because they're still a working company now, but went to promote a show and stuff, and the guy gives just a bunch of lanyards to put on us. So we just walked right in the back. They thought that we were part of the promotional crew and stuff, but we weren't.
Yeah.
We were promoting a show that was somewhere totally else, and this was at White River.
Yeah.
We just walked right in the back and stuff.
That's great.
It was pretty cool. Because I was questioning it, too, because we're handing out flyers to a totally different thing. I was like, are we supposed to be doing that? Oh, all right, it's a free show, all right. So
that's funny. I got into Endfest for free.
Endfest?
Yeah. I went there with a bunch of people. This was, 92, I think it was?
I can't remember. I think I've been to Endfest. I ain't sure which one.
I think the first one was in 92 in the wake of Lollapalooza.
I would have to look at all my tickets to see.
Yeah. This had like the Beastie Boys and Mudhoney and Cypress Hill, I think, was the last band that played maybe that night. And there was a lot of bands playing that day. I wasn't into half of them, I think. I don't remember. But what was it? I don't even remember where it was. But I went up there with Bob and Ryan from the Plasters, Bonzort, and a few other people. And we had stayed overnight. And we had some tickets, but we didn't have enough tickets for everyone. Like, say there's 5 of us, and we had 3 tickets. Mm. And, or there, whatever the denominations were. I don't recall exactly.
I think I remember what you're talking about now.
So, we're partying there the night before all night, and we end up partying with someone who was roadie for the show, working on the crew. And so, as sun's rising, dude's like, I can get you guys in. I can get you in. No problem. So we give our tickets to the other people, and me and this girl Christina and Bob, I think, are the ones who decide to go with this guy.
Yeah.
And so we're hiding in the back, me and the girl, under some blankets in the back of a canopied truck. And Bob's driving in with this guy into the back where the road crew are driving in. And so they use the guy's pass to get the parking in the back. The guy's in the passenger seat and shows to the people, and they get into the back, and then they park. And then we all discreetly exit the vehicle. And we start to blend in with the crowd of people that are lining up there specifically to get their credentials, to get their badges. And lady comes out and starts with clipboard and thing of badges. It's like, all right, who's here for this stuff? And we're all like, and so she starts handing them out. And people start going in. And then we start to go in. And some big Indian guy with glasses kind of appears from nowhere. He's like big chested, fucking not very tall, but he's like burly, just filled out. And he's like, you guys aren't part of the crew. And we're like, what do you mean? And he says,
is he the boss? It's the guy that hired everybody?
I don't know. He's like, the guy who got you in here is probably going to get fired for this. And if you go through that gate, and because we were about to go through with the things, and he wasn't necessarily saying that we couldn't even. He was just saying if we went through there with those, that we were probably going to get that guy into trouble. Yeah. And he's like, and I don't remember exactly all the words that were exchanged there, but we're like, all right, here you go. Gave him the stuff. And he's like, you guys want to go in the show? We're like, yeah. And he's like, all right. He lets us through. And we're like, oh, thanks, man.
But you had to give him the pass back?
Yeah. We just had to give him all the all-access stuff back.
And I was basically saying, this pass, somebody's got to make you do something that's got to get us in trouble if you have that on. Yeah. So give me the pass back and just go.
It was fine.
So that was just a liability thing.
Yeah.
I get that.
I mean, we still had the contingency of hopefully getting back out in time to get our tickets, if possible. But still, at least one of us would have been out of a ticket, I think, at that point. Nonetheless, yeah.
That's cool. They let you in.
Yeah.
But you guys did the right thing, passed up, y'all. Because he could have said, oh, yeah, and you guys are also going to jail, too.
This is trespassing. And, we've had enough of you people. Yep. All right. Well, let's go back to songs. All right. We didn't even say what we played the last time. Damn it, Chris. Let's play some Plasters.
All right. There you go.
feel about the middle of the night. It's 3 a.m. and I'm feeling alright. Take me downtown to see the city lights. City lights! I'm coming down. I'm coming down. Where you go for a real good time? You know me, I got a pocket full of dimes. Take me downtown where the fine girls chime. They chime. I'm coming down. I'm coming down. Pushing past the hustlers and hookers, around the corner and through the door. Take me downtown to the fun circus. Circus, yeah. I had my fill about the middle of the night. It's 3 a.m. and I'm feeling alright. Take me downtown to see the city lights. City lights! I'm coming down. I'm coming down. I'm coming down. I'm
just a getting such a way, but there ain't no gratification. A big mistake, what I said, don't need no explanation. And I wanna know what it feels like. Don't you wanna know what it feels like? Hey, what you looking at? What you staring at? Hey, what you thinking about? I think I know. I think I know. We all know that no moment's here for good, but let's love the one that we're in. Just wait a minute, let it all sink in, let it all kick in. And I wanna know what it feels like. Don't you wanna know what it feels like? Hey, what you looking at? What you staring at? Hey, what you thinking about? I think I know. Hey, what you looking at? What you staring at? Hey, what you thinking about? I think I know. I think I know.
Oh my God, Chris, hurry up! We got to get back to the show.
Yep.
I'm just, you're not being rushed. Just for the sake of, we're still filming, so I'm like, oh yeah, this is great. You're not on camera, so we do though have to get back to the show.
Well, this is where you could
took a detour.
in that area. You could just throw in random pictures. And whatnot.
These are things that people never know. The detours that we sometimes take, on the musical adventures. Like
Yes.
last week when we were invaded with Cody Foster Army, we listened to like 20, 30 minutes of songs that never made the show. And then here we were on a complete technical detour, which often makes it in the show, and I'm like, shit, that didn't need to be there. But now it's there. So this time it didn't make it in the show. It's not in the show. They'll never know what was going on. But it was all this stuff that they're like, Jesus Christ, why are they talking about this? We don't know and care.
I
you
have
know?
no idea what they're talking about, and I don't care.
So it's good because you'll never know.
Yep.
Now,
All right.
I was. It's funny. I haven't got my headphones like this right now. I was watching a show earlier that I listen and watch periodically, and suddenly everyone's headphones in the booth only started playing one channel, and the dude who kind of is the head of the show, he's like, "What the fuck's going on? What's going on?" And he's trying to fix it, and this younger broad who's on the show is like, just roll with it, just move on, don't worry about it, they'll fix it. And he's like, I can't hear. It's like, I can hear. And she's like, just put one side open like this, put one of your headphones off to the side, and you can hear the ambient sound of the room. Basically, is what she's telling him. And he's just like getting frazzled about it, and I'm like, dude, just
Go with it.
relax, man. Just relax. It's okay. And he did, but you could tell he was bothered. And he was bothered like the whole rest of the day by it. Because I don't think they got it fixed. But I would think that people in general in a profession would be very used to things not going right.
Yep.
Like you, part of getting to a point in professionalism is like experiencing tons of shit over and over again. It's like, this is happening again.
Well,
Jesus Christ, this is happening again.
It's funny. When I run a show, a lot of times, and like shit happens at shows. There's always something. You deal you deal with electronics, you deal with multiple people, you deal with multiple things. Each tom is an entity. Each string is an entity. Each key on a keyboard is an entity when you really look at it. And when you put all that together, there's too many variables in one spot for something not to go wrong.
What do you mean the guitar player just changed his strings before the show?
No. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And that's why when a band will walk off stage go, man, this happened or this happened, I go, you know what? That proves this ain't fucking Milli Vanilli. There's no Milli Vanilli here. There's no, Jessica Simpson stuff here. There's none of that here. This is live. And I said, and I tell them, I said, if people want to hear perfection, they're going to go home and listen to a CD. Or they'll listen to Dream Theater. And, they go to live concerts to see the human aspect, the warmth of the live of it. And, yeah, they go for that. And
They're there to pick up chicks, man.
Well, the single guys, yes. And the single girls that are into girls, too.
Yep.
So, yeah. But in general, they're going there for the ambience, the whole vibe, the energy, that you don't get from listening to a stereo. You don't get the same vibe. The energy is just so much different, as you already know. And, yeah. That's why.
That's right, Chris.
So how was that? Is that good?
Yeah.
Blue Dream, right on?
Mm-hmm.
I'll let you download that CD.
What was that CD?
That's Juliet Tango.
Oh, yeah.
They're my friend's band. They're from Aberdeen,
Oh, cool.
but they're just a duet,
Mm-hmm.
and they
You
do
told me
some,
about
they have some cool stuff.
Right.
His wife plays the drums, and he plays guitar and sings. Yeah, that's cool. They got this song called "Cocaine and Coffee."
Mm-hmm.
I ain't sure if that's recorded on that or not, but it's kind of cool.
That'd be
Cool
too
song.
much.
Yeah,
Co-
not for them. That's how they wake up currently,
uh,
according to the song.
like, coffee's fine. It's just fine. Just plain old black coffee is just good enough.
Oh, cool. Saying at my birthday party, I was saying my birthday show,
Uh-huh.
July 13th. And so far, PD Normal is going to go. Face of Loki is like 99% sure. The Bolivian Army is a possibility. And possibly Massacre at the Opera.
Cool.
So, yeah, that'll be a great show.
Guess it's not far off now since it's the summer movie blockbuster season.
Yep, yep.
So you're still avoiding all spoilers for Avengers Endgame?
Yeah, yeah. And it's funny because my girlfriend wants me to just wait until it's out on video.
Yeah.
And I'm just
Yeah.
like going, I don't know if I could wait that long. But I know I could go and watch a 3-hour movie. She can't. She just can't do it. And so I'm thinking about just asking her and say, hey, can I go? Because I mean, I've went and seen a couple movies without her and stuff.
Yeah.
So yeah, so I might ask her if I could go, because I'm just dying to figure out what the fuck happened, because I'm just like wanting to see it.
At this point, I think it's a good capstone on things. I think about stories and conclusions to things often, and analyze them as they unfold, as they're created in real time, and I'm experiencing them, or whether I'm looking back at them and experiencing them for the first time, like when I read The Lord of the Rings for the first time, whatever it is, things that I like or don't like about storytelling and how things unfold. And yeah, I've said it before, even maybe probably last week, there will be things that I will not like forever about the directions that they're going in, but nonetheless, that movie and the entire arc of their storytelling was well done. It's an amazing accomplishment, even to have something that ended that was as satisfying as it was to as many people. So that's a huge accomplishment in a world that is like hates everything right now. Like it gets worse and worse again with that's Game of Thrones every week. Like and even that the real complaint that should be, that is the most valid there, is that it's being rushed. Like the last season of the show could have been told over 3 seasons. Like and it's just been plowed through and lacks a lot of the subtlety and finesse of some of the other storytelling that was more based off of the books in the first place. Where this is just them trying to get out of this big,
it's like this meme that I saw. It says Game of Thrones first season, it has a badass dragon, all this fighting, and then it shows it now and it's all just stick figures and stuff throwing rocks. And so it's about the producers and acting, or producers and writing. Went from this to this.
Yeah, some of them. There are some choices that are suspect, but again, it's their story to tell however they want at this point. The show itself is always different than the books, and they're going to tell a different story in a different way. And neither of those belong to me. I don't write them, and they weren't entirely compelling to me from the very beginning. There are elements of this that are great, but there are elements of a lot of things that are great that I also appreciate and don't like a lot of, and I'll like digest other things that will be like this too. Like, I've not seen these more recent Planet of the Apes movies. Have you seen any of those?
No.
Yeah, there's 3 of them.
Oh.
Yeah.
Shows the origin of it and stuff.
I guess, I don't know. I haven't watched them. I'm even less familiar with that property because I'm really really far removed from that. But the original Planet of the Apes, as cheesy as it was with their costumes and everything, I really liked those stories. Like, I liked that. That reminded me of Twilight Zone-ish. Yeah.
How
Yeah.
the background-ish.
There is a lot of that steeped
The
in
vibe,
it, man. Yeah,
yeah.
man, it really is. And it's like a kind of Flash Gordon serial, the way that it ended up being portrayed, the way that Star Wars wanted to be portrayed and succeeded at eventually, like becoming. It really is that. So, and that was instilled in me by those kinds of storytellers like George Lucas. Is like, I like that. I like that kind of serialized storytelling, and it's going to be cheesy sometimes. Okay, I guess I accept that too. That's going to happen in all of them, and yet there's going to be a great thread of story in a lot of it too. So, and so I can see that can apply to modern stories too, that just as well. And there are elements like the Game of Thrones or the Avengers, the whole comic book saga, that is and will continue to be pretty interesting. Like, I won't follow probably Marvel nearly as much as I have in the last 5 years. Because like I said, I didn't follow it the first 5 years. I just followed it primarily in the last 5, and I'm done. I'm satisfied with it. It succeeded in what it should do.
I think I stumbled upon 2 things that are kind of spoilers, but not.
Yeah.
You know, like one I saw was another movie coming out with a certain
Spider-Man?
Spider-Man.
Well, I tried to tell you.
Yeah,
tried to tell you.
yeah.
You just
Well,
wouldn't.
yeah,
You wouldn't
well,
hear it. You wouldn't
well, yeah.
have it, Chris.
Well, I was
You're
trying
right.
to not hear it.
Yep.
But then I saw this thing because it was in my feed and stuff, and I thought it was an older one, just revamped, but it wasn't. And I did see a new Marvel character coming out, but a bad guy. And to me, it looks like some guy that just grew up pissed off, and it's just like, oh, you gonna fuck with me? All right, and just totally fuck with everybody and shit.
Huh? What story is this?
Yeah, I'm trying to remember what it's called. I just saw it on TV yesterday.
Is it a Marvel one or is it just something else? Because
I want to say it's a Marvel one.
I know that there's a take on a Superman that is a bad Superman, like
That might be.
but it's not Superman.
Yeah.
So, but it's like, what if Superman just wasn't good? Basically, is
Yeah.
the premise of it, and it's interesting. I don't remember what it's called.
Yeah.
But that is an interesting concept, and one that is worth exploring. Like I've mentioned before, like I view Batman as a villain. And you know, let's say that Alfred is like,
He's just enabling it.
exactly. Maybe Alfred killed his parents and has brainwashed this kid the whole time. And he's just like, oh man, you're right. You're right, Bruce. Just gaslighting him the entire time and feeding this psychosis. And there could be different takes on different things, like Popeye. That's another one that I'd like to, as silly as it is, like you can make a completely grimy, realistic Popeye, like that is just like dark and greasy and dirty, and where there's like warped boards and barnacles and giant octopus and slimy things and gnarly people, and everyone's kind of a little Tim Burton gross, far out, you know. I think that'd be cool.
You just sold the show right there.
Well, there's some cool shit in Popeye, really, if you really dig deep.
Yeah.
Just stuff that's barely touched on, like the Jeep. That thing is fucking far out. That little creature, the mystical creature that they go and find or look for. Popeye's dad, when he goes and looks for Popeye's dad is on an island of goons, the island of the goons, and the sea hag has got this island of goons, and these goons are far out, and the goons look like these statues that you see around the world with the long noses. They're like kind of giants, and they're fucking far out. I keep hitting something, and it's making a. Now
It's probably that.
something's just rattling. I don't like the rattling. It's now become that guy. Yeah, so just a few elements in Popeye that are far out and fantastic, and they're just barely touched on. Usually it's just some bullshit about Bluto and Popeye fighting over olive oil, and Wimpy and hamburgers and sweet pea. All that's garbage. Throw all that crap away.
I've never seen him pay for those hamburgers.
Me either, actually. That I can remember. Now, actually, don't throw it all away. It's all fine. That can be like filtered in there and can be elements of the stuff, but they should like explore far out stuff, like far out adventures, like like you can make a trilogy: Popeye versus the Sea Hag. But one where Popeye's looking for his father, and one where he's on this island of fucking giant weirdos. Just all kinds of just stupid stuff. It could just be stupid. I don't know. It's one of those things that is on the fringe of public domain also, but it's not public domain yet, because some things are supposed to fall into public domain after a period of time, like but greedy people will finagle the rights for longer by doing things or tweaking things or bending rules, and it's weird and crazy and bullshit. But it should be. It should be public domain, and people should just be able to make these stories up themselves. When things do fall in the public domain, then they can make stories. But then again, all too often, people don't make good adaptations of things or good continuations. I don't know why. Not ones that I am completely satisfied with. It's very rare that people really carry on, I feel, other people's work with the same passion and integrity for the characters. It's hard to get into the brain of the people who create it and then satisfy the people who's the audience. I mean, I guess on shows it's easier to make those transitions, but those people are often behind the scenes and you're not seeing it as much. I don't know if you're still following the Star Trek Discovery. This is another show that's very polarizing in the Star Trek community.
I've got the first series. I own it.
Yeah.
I don't have the channel to watch it, so I haven't been watching it.
It's the
I'll buy
last
the series when it comes out.
It's the Last Jedi of Star Trek. It is polarizing the Star Trek community. It's tearing you people apart. Can't you understand this?
No, because I haven't been watching it.
Some people, there are some people who feel that like a lot of these, with each progressive series, they've gotten farther away from it. Some people are different. There are a few purists though that are like weird about their Star Trek, as you can imagine. People, just fans, just hardcore fans, can be
The jihad of Star Trek.
so. Gene Roddenberry, who made Star Trek, does have some very strong principles behind what he did. Like when he was making those shows, specifically the first Star Trek and Generations, Next Generation, he wanted them to be drastically different than conventional action and drama shows. Like he wanted them to be less reliant on, shooting and killing and things like that. And, they were supposed to be in the future and we're supposed to be more civilized and
There's
beyond
more
certain
problem
things.
solving than shooting them up.
And they're more intellectual concepts than other. So, and I get it, and I get why. The dynamic of that being old fashioned and dated and not selling, and modern people waiting to get their hands on it to do different stuff with it. And it's like, wouldn't it be cool if this was happening? And sometimes it is. And, inevitably we live in this day and age where properties like this exist and are going to be expanded upon or altered or readapted time and time and time again. There's going to be, eventually there's going to be a different incarnation of Indiana Jones. The people that have held the rights to Back to the Future say there's never going to be another Back to the Future. But in 50 years or something, man, there's going to be. Someone's going to find their way to make it. They're going to be like, no, look, it's Back to the Future.
Well, I already saw something.
You told me about this and we looked into it, but we didn't find those satisfying results. This might have been a myth. Because there are these things that exist. So because we looked into it and it didn't tell us the answer. So I don't know that there is.
But I think that was a cool concept.
There are things that could be cool. Like, again, because you say that, people say different things all the time. They could adapt some things or continue some things that are cool in the way that they revisit them. This can happen. Yep. There's also stuff that can be adapted that's never been touched before too. And it's hard to break new properties in and out there. That's a difficult thing to wrestle with, is how that's going to be approached in the future, where so many things are being commercialized on a high level and franchised by giant brands like Disney. Yeah. So how are new, smaller intellectual properties going to break out there and be the new Star Wars? Because Star Wars was a tiny thing when it started. It was just a tiny idea by this dude who wanted to bring his brand of entertainment that he liked when he was a kid to like a mass audience, and it broke the world. But those things are harder to bring, just come out of nowhere now, because people are like spending millions and millions and millions on giant properties like Marvel movies, you know, and these dominate the box office. Even stuff like, you know, it's debatable, but there's a Hellboy movie that came out not too long ago, but it was just in and out of the box office. Like, didn't do well.
I haven't seen that either. I wanted to see it, but I just didn't get a chance to see it.
Part of the reason is because it tanked at the box office. Not to say that it's bad. Some people thought it was all right. Some people thought it was interesting.
Well, it's like 10 times more violent
Yeah.
than the other ones.
Yeah.
And I think everybody just liked Ron.
Yeah, there's that.
Yeah,
And
so it's a different guy.
Also,
so-
Guillermo del Toro, who did the movie, also. And so there's definitely this to take into consideration, but so I mean, there's a lot to be said for these big tentpole blockbusters that are dominating the box office and not giving a lot of other movies any opportunity to breathe. Again, I don't know if that one it's a rated R horror comic-ish type of thing. I don't know if it would have done any better, but so it was probably a bad example. Fuck it, cut songs.
All right.
Lady, please send your luck on down the line. I believe I've been wasting my time. Line of fours, just like yours. My notes see fit to answer my dime. They don't fly, they just ride the starlight. There's no way those bygone days will make you bitter. Believe it's soon, and there's no time left to waste. Oh, Fraulein, you're standing in mid-June, and there's no time left to waste.
Saturday, bumping me some Mandalay. Lizzy Soprano, CD Saint always get my grind straight. 35 down the one way, little mama, have it your way. Wanted to kick it, gotta record, maybe Monday. Play a game of Simon Say, visit a place where I was raised. Seriously, no lie, I damn near seen poverty every day. Pretty high up on the rate, can't gas me up, full tank. Grew up with K. And his older brother Dane. Can't forget Baby and Tay. Lucy safe around the way. Rest in peace, Keon and his son died on his birthday. Remember my first case? Staring death in the face. Uncle Vincent doing many years, many tears, many birthdays he missed. All over dollars and cents. I sense the problem with this. Crack law, I smell fists. Destruction taking their pick. Shooting us, making us piss. And when we riot, we bias for starting the trick. Up jumps the boogie, 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 let's dance. Boogie, boogie, let's dance. Call me the boogie man. Up jumps the boogie, 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 let's dance. Boogie, boogie, let's jam. Call me the boogie man. Up jumps the boogie, 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 let's dance. Boogie, boogie, let's dance. Call me the boogie man. Up jumps the boogie, 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 let's dance. Boogie, boogie, let's jam. Call me the boogie man. I ain't scary to say rappers dressing like fairies or hilarious. I'm brave enough to shut you up. I won't go ahead and dare me. Watch yourself get buried. I love hip hop, we married. I pop the cherry. Honestly, there's nothing you can tell me. Dwelling in the belly of the beast, just preparing for a track to explode. Don't take a shot at your dome. Rap reincarnated, the game is shady. Singing the same song, came up, stay strong, lace it, far from basics. Since the kid had training, moms properly explaining chaos. I ain't nameless, don't care about being famous, so quit trying to play us like Annie and Amos. My anger is sad at you for taking on the role of homo rapper on the low with population in control. They don't follow your verse, they rock to your songs. The code, what you saying, displaying, you selling your soul. Up jumps the boogie, 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 let's dance. Boogie, boogie, let's jam. Call me the boogie man. Up jumps the boogie, 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 let's dance. Boogie, boogie, let's jam. Call me the boogie man. Up jumps the boogie, 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 let's dance. Boogie, boogie, let's dance. Call me the boogie man. Up jumps the boogie, 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 let's dance. Boogie, boogie, let's jam. Call me the boogie man. Cherish my gift, not embarrassed, I'll spit. Mason Bethel, horse and carriage, different levels to this. Ain't the verses a script, slavery ain't dead or a myth. This day it still exists, still dealing with this. Lived up our privilege a bit, wasn't a silver spoon. Down on my knees, praying high to the moon for understanding. Sometimes I feel abandoned, I manage not to panic. Follow rules and the commandments, bitchin' jewels being handed to an innocent child. Seeming little unimportant when they told me I smiled. Never knew in this lifetime I live by these rules. Initiated not to fail, hanging with truth. Smoke ain't around, I gotta stand tall. Imagine how mama and turn felt when they got that call. Promise if I have a seat, I'ma guide them right. If you didn't know, it's 3 and 1 for life. Up jumps the boogie, 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 let's dance. Boogie, boogie, let's jam. Call me the boogie man. Up jumps the boogie, 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 let's dance. Boogie, boogie, let's jam. Call me the boogie man. Up jumps the boogie, 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 let's dance. Boogie, boogie, let's jam. Call me the boogie man. Up jumps the boogie, 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 let's dance. Boogie, boogie, let's jam. Call me the boogie man.
Everybody keep your eyes on the prize, you rap and shit. So you got some niggas on your side that say they're your friends, but in real life, they're your enemies. Then you got some motherfuckers that say they're your enemies, but in real life, they eyes is on your money. See, enemies that say they're true, but in real life, them niggas will be snitches. It's a dirty game, y'all. Y'all got to be careful about who you fuck with and who you don't fuck with. Cause the shit get wild, y'all. Keep your mind on the real, man. Keep your mind on your real.
Well, how loud is the volume when you're doing that?
Not that loud.
Not that loud.
But
still.
I guess it could be quieter, huh? I mean, again, like when I tried it today, I tried with the volume lower and the bass and treble way down.
Yeah. Yeah, because what you want to do is you want, on the stereo itself, turn the volume off, right? Turn it off to begin with. Plug in the headphones, then turn your recorder volume, the input, up halfway.
Yeah.
Halfway up. And then slowly turn up the volume. Because that volume, you should never have to turn that volume up halfway. It should never be that loud. It should be only like a quarter, a little bit over a quarter of the volume.
Mm-hmm.
And that's it. Because other than that, it's just getting louder. To get the clean signal, you only need to be up so far. Because what you might be doing is you might be running the volume on the recorder low, and then the recorder on the headphones hot, which would give you almost a distorted, pressurized
This is
signal.
probably the problem.
So if you do it the opposite way, turn the recorder up loud, and then the volume up just slowly.
What you're saying is that the angle is inversely proportionate to the heat of the meat.
Yes,
Yeah.
exactly.
That's exactly the problem.
So yeah.
That's the problem.
I mean, but if you understand that, just try
Of
that.
course I understand. I just explained it.
All right. Okay. So yeah. So let's try that, and I'm pretty sure that if that doesn't work, then it's probably the needle or something. Because the only thing I could say is that it would be from the wires that right there that you're coming out of. It'd be those wires.
No, I think that's
be the
probably the
noise.
problem. And it just wasn't low enough because it just needs to be more quiet. Because I had turned it down, but even still, yeah, like I said.
Yeah.
So, yeah, knowing that, I can adjust some things and it should be fine. We're not on camera anymore. That's right. We've stopped filming. That's okay.
You got pictures of us smiling, jumping up. So.
Yeah, I should. There's things I could do, never do, like put just random footage of us up talking. Like, the video, is what it is. More people listen than watch, but it's always there, just for, shits and giggles.
We'll take a selfie and put it up, and then you can just.
That network that I watch sometimes, that is the Collider Network, they started doing some of their programming in 20-minute increments, which their market analysis research says that this new generation has a short attention span, and that people tend to watch for 20 so minutes and then tune out. And so they should then cater to the trends and start making their shows 20 minutes long so that they're capitalizing on that amount of time that people are actually watching them, which makes for then more rushed content. Like their show just now is like they're trying to streamline it and they're only going to cover so many things.
Now you gotta just shove so much shit into one that they're not going to remember all that anyways.
It, for me personally, it's instantly bad. Like, I liked them because they weren't catering to those YouTube trends, actually. I liked the fact that they would take some time and just, in fact, they were moving in a direction that was, for most of their shows, that was more conversational based. They were, starting to, what I felt was, recognize that what was appealing about them was that they were being personable and talking about shit, and actually some of what we do is based off of my perception of what they do. Is like what I like about them most of all is that they're just talking about shit. Like I don't give a shit if like when they start being assholes, which is very rare, really. But then it's like I don't really want to watch them be assholes. But there's only a couple people that come in once in a while. They've got a really bad attitude, and other than that, they're just talking about shit, and that's actually what I want. Like I tuned into that and realized that is what I want. I want to just listen to some conversations about some things, and I'll agree or disagree, and I like that. That's good enough entertainment for me for what they're because a lot of things they're talking about. There are things that I am somewhat interested in the creative process and movies and art and film and storytelling and comics and things that evolve into these other properties. I'm interested in all of that development and all of the processes in it, and specific processes in particular. But nonetheless, I like to hear about it, and so they're moving more away from it. And they were actually pretty good about they would offer opinions, but they would also be pretty diplomatic about stuff too. And they just have less time to finesse all that stuff now. They're just plowing through it, and yeah, it's not really what I want from things. And that I guess they don't see it, or sure, maybe people aren't watching as much of the end of their show, but that's just the nature of things. And but the people who are interested in the entire thing would, like I would, even though I wasn't going to be as interested in a lot of the topics they listen to. I pretty much usually listen to the entire show unless they got really stupid and horrible, and it was very rare they did that. They had a lot of diverse personalities coming in and out too. That also helped them. But I think they've scaled that down as well. Maybe, I don't know, it's hard to say, but nonetheless they don't have as much time to dive into them. So that's my thoughts on that. Fuck the internet algorithms and short attention spans. And here's the thing is that what I found with them also, here's the thing, is that they were building an audience and able to build that audience by doing what they wanted to do. But now they're catering to the audience, what they think the audience wants. Yeah. I don't think that that's good. I think that they should continue to evolve, doing what they're doing and let the audience grow with them. I mean, I guess if they want their audience to have a shorter attention span, that's fine. But I don't want to necessarily cater to that. Like,
and that's just contributing to the problem.
Now
we are making people relax and take their time and actually enjoy their time.
I'd like to think so.
That's exactly what we're doing.
I like radio programs, whether it's a morning radio program or afternoon radio, whatever, because I grew up on radio and I liked radio, and I liked that they would have periods of conversation and play some songs, and you'd get lost in the songs, and all of a sudden the songs would be done, and you'd be like, oh, the fucking songs are done. And you'd sit through the conversation, and then they'd talk, probably have some commercials, talk some more, and then go back to songs. But you'd start to then get into their conversation, and you're like, oh, that's interesting. Aliens, huh? That's something, Speaking of which, I don't know where we are in the show. Are we in segment 3, segment 4?
I have no idea.
I don't have any idea either.
Let me see where we are on this. Oh, well, hour 41 in. So, 2.5, 3. I don't know.
I don't know, man. I don't know if we've we're stoners.
I know. I'm still tired from Saturday, so I'm just kind of floating along.
I think that our show's almost done. I think that we're in the last segment. So you had a show on Saturday. That was
10 bands.
Yeah.
Odd bands, but great bands.
Yeah, Cashing and Karma played, and who else played there?
There
was a bunch of them.
I'll rattle it off real quick here. It was fun. What's next week? It was okay. All right. it was Sun Mother. They started the show out. Damn the Flood, Astor House, which is a great band. Juliet Tango, they're from Aberdeen.
Yeah.
They're a great band. Les Punch, they kind of say they're from Seattle. They're more or less from Seattle. And there was a bad incident where Jessica was playing. She's a bass player, Les Punch, and she jumps off the drum riser and stuff, rocking out and stuff. And unfortunately, she landed wrong and hyperextended her knee.
Ouch.
And she was like, I think they just started their third song, so it was just like we had to stop the show for that and stuff. So, but she's okay. She's at home resting now, so she's all right. Then after that, Mr. Master played. They're a great band, and they tore it up. And then Cashing and Karma played, and then a band called Woodshed played. And they're a hard rocking band. They're really cool. Jericho Hill played, and then the singer of Jericho Hill joined the last band, Wyatt Only in the Wreckage. He's a singer of Jericho Hill, but he's a bass player for Wyatt Only in the Wreckage now, which is a great Seattle band. They're very entertaining, very fun band. So yeah, it was quite the day. Had a little dog barking the entire night before, so I didn't really get too much sleep for the show. But it's fun. I love doing that. I do it every weekend, for the fun of it. And it's my therapy.
What's the problem with the dog?
It barked all night, just for no reason. My sister was out somewhere with her friends and stuff, so basically the dog, every time it heard a slightest noise, started barking.
So it wasn't
stuff.
your dog?
No, it was my sister's dog.
I gotcha.
Which is a teacup terrier. So it's about the size of a softball, maybe a little bit bigger than that. I mean, it's this tiny little thing. And it's adorable. And it's so weird because when you pick it up, it doesn't remind you of a dog or even a cat. Maybe a really young cat. But to me, for some reason, it reminds me of a bird. How a bird's big but light. This dog's just got a lot of hair, so it's fluffy and light and stuff, and it's just weird and odd, but just adorable. I mean, look at you have to fall in love with it because it's so tiny. It's got this little tiny face, and then it has a ponytail on top of its head because it has long hair. It always goes in its face and runs into walls.
Cute.
But yeah, so it's an adventure. Yeah.
And so what was the occasion of this festival that you had this weekend with 10 bands? What was that?
It's called Radfest. And it's this guy that just, he started the second one they put on, and kind of just a festival. A bunch of bands. Okay, kind of like we had the Backyard Fest and, all these other festivals and stuff. And it's just kind of a collaboration of a bunch of bands, so it's like all day thing. Starts at noon and, ends whenever.
That's cool.
No. But I'm glad that we don't do them all the time because, man, it wears me a hell out.
I bet. Yeah.
So, yeah. But luckily, with scenarios like that, there's people that are generally controlling the stage and stuff, so I don't have to go running back and forth a lot and stuff like that. So that's always a bonus. I always love that. So, yeah.
Awesome. Well, I guess we should finish our show then. If this is actually the end, I don't know. Is this the end of the show, or is there another segment? I can always cut it. I'm sure.
What time does?
No, I think we've covered it. I think that. Yep, we're in our last segment right now. We're done with our show.
All right.
It's over, man. It's time to go. Thanks everybody for listening to our show, and it's a great time. We enjoy doing it. We'll come back next week and we'll do it again. We were going to be on location this weekend, but my shoulder hurts, and it wasn't as sunny as we hoped. Yeah. And so we decided, I pretty much called an audible and said, no, we're not going to do that.
Yeah, I was probably too tired to be going dragging shit out and stuff too. So yes, I get it.
All right, then. So be sure to like the show and subscribe to pages and share the show with friends, and find the bands in the links in the descriptions down below, and go buy their albums and their merchandise and go to their shows and
Yes. Support local music.
Yeah, in all its varied forms.
Yes.
Thank you and good night.
Good night.
Coffee cigarettes, missing, yeah, it's breakfast up. Champion is bitter and listen to me, yeah. I drink a cup every day, singing my thread on my way. No need for drugs and alcohol. Without coffee and cigarettes, kill you all. I am not straight edge, I'll have it till I'm dead. Listen up, you boys and girls, cigarettes is my drug of choice. Cannabis and coffee, that's what I prefer. Drink the whole fucking pot, then I drink a spit shot. Ask me if I'm afraid of cancer, hell no is my fucking answer. I don't need no drugs and alcohol. Without coffee and cigarettes, kill you all. I'm not straight edge, I'll have it till I'm dead. Listen up, you boys and girls, coffee and cigarettes is my fucking drug of choice. Black coffee, I drink it all. Like my fire, stare at the walls. Filthy cigarettes where it's at, cause those filthy gonna mean hack. I know that I'm good from hell, but I'm a living beneath everything else. I don't need no drugs and alcohol. Without coffee, cigarettes kill you all. No, I'm not straight edge, I'll have it till I'm fucking dead. Listen up, you boys and girls, coffee and cigarettes is my fucking drug of choice.
Before the time in ours,
No.
You actually sound like a real man, Campbell. Maybe one of your nuts dropped today.
I'll drop your nuts, bitch. Back the fuck up. Let's go. You wanna see what I'm made out of?
Come on now, let's fucking fight. Put up your fists in a knockout fight. Still fucking piss, been drinking all night. Like adrenaline pumping, yeah, fucking eyes. Nothing to lose, this is nothing to gain. If my world starts breaking, am I going insane? No regard for anyone. I live my life with the loaded gun.
If you ever pull that shit with me again, I'll kill you. And all you little Chinese mushu pork potions in the world will not save you next time.
You know you shouldn't knock Chinese potions. I have something in my pocket right now. It'll completely clear up that bruise on your forehead. What bruise?
Come on now, let's fucking fight. Fill up your fists in a knockout fight. Still fucking pissed, been drinking all night. Adrenaline pumping, yeah, it's fucking high. Nothing to lose, this is nothing to gain. If my world starts breaking, am I going insane? No regard for anyone. I live my life with a loaded gun.
The safety word didn't help. My trailer! What the hell? One of you getting your dick hole smashed! Oh! I'm freaking!
You've Let's buy a cabin. Blanketed by snow. Big dogs on the porch. Hard ciders burning our throats. I tried, I tried. I tried again. I tried.
just a waste of time. You never see the truth that's behind. Why won't you stay away?